This is Julie.
Hey, calendar, what's my morning like?
Julie's about to have a long day.
At 9 a.m., soccer carpool. 9:10, purchase birthday card. 9:05, dry cleaning.
Did you just go backwards?
I'm sorry, I can't fit that question into your schedule. 9:15, cry for a little bit.
For days that won't end, let Schwann's help. With Schwann's, you can get delicious meals that go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. Visit today at schwanns.com.
At Farmers Insurance, we know every windshield collision has a unique sound. Beetle. Bird poop. Drone. Seen it, covered it. Click for more.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hi, this is Jim the Keys bartender, coming to you from the Blackwater Siren on Jewfish Creek, the first exit after you top the bridge coming into Key Largo.
There you go.
Yep, and I'm here with Bill Wissinger.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Bill, this is a great place. They got great food. They got Chef Lolo and his crew will cook up your catch, and they also have wonderful preparation.
$2 Bud and Bud Lights all the time. It's always happy hour on Bud
Great
and Bud
happy
Light.
hour, great food specials. A beautiful setting here on Blackwater Sand. Jewfish Creek. Either one. Technically, where are we? We're in a canal off.
Yeah, we're on Jewfish Creek.
We're on Jewfish Creek. And it's all right for Bill to say it.
All right for anybody.
Because you're a Jew.
Man. It's the. That's what's that one? The old meme I saw a couple weeks ago. It sprung up again. The Irish were going to try to ban Lucky Charms. And it says, no, just kidding, because the Irish aren't a bunch of pussies and don't care what you say.
Well, I mean, the leprechaun is one of the lamest. Have some of a background of Irish ethnicity.
Don't prove that Irish are pussies.
No, I'm saying the shepherd. I'm not proving it. I'm saying like this. I'm going. It's kind of a ridiculous.
Don't be the exception that proves the rule.
No, I'm not. What? How's that an exception? I said it's a lame one. That's the only thing. I like the stereotype better than the. I like the shitty stereotype with the paddy wagons and the drunken thing better than running around with that little flute music in the back, and I got my pot of gold and all that shit. Take me to your treasure. Well, Bill, last Thursday I was waiting for my. Did you hear this story?
I don't think so.
My girls came back from Poland, Abby and Sky.
You told me that it took I think I saw you briefly somewhere, and you told me.
Well, this is an informational thing, and I learned this. They were coming back from Warsaw to Toronto, and then Toronto to Miami. When they got to Toronto, the plane was 30 minutes late. And what happens, they were on an airline. It happened to be Air Canada. I don't think we're ever going to get a thing from Air Canada. But it's in their rules. It's in their – when you buy a ticket, you get just a list where you go online where they have the 50 fucking pages of liability disclaimers. If you're not at the gate at boarding time, they do not have to honor a reservation.
Right.
But this is the thing. I think what happened, we've seen it, you don't have to check. If you check in and get your luggage checked in, you're all right. But if you're on a plane coming in, meeting your connection, where they know your connection, they rebook your fucking seats right through. And that's what happened. Abby and her sister, Yolanda and Sky, they got to the gate 15 minutes before they left, and they're begging to get on the plane. But it turned out they have to, in that situation, if they don't rebook you within 4 hours.
Yeah, they got to buy you a hotel room.
Yeah, you got to buy you a hotel room, give you a food service, stuff like that. So, I mean, some people like to get it to shorten their layovers. It pays to have sometimes a little longer layover. It sucks. Try to make it direct to flight as possible. Because and then if the least amount of layovers and plenty of time in that layover just in case you're late.
Yeah, and it's not like it used to be where they had plenty of flights. Now they've got those things all overbooked, man.
Yeah. On the flip side, though, they stayed in a hotel near the airport, which is shitty in itself. This guy has this thing for Tim Hortons. It's
I know.
Canadian
Starbucks.
It's their low budget Starbucks there, and she just it's Canadian Starbucks, and they were well rested. They weren't getting home. They would have got home at midnight on Thursday, and they ended up getting home at 1:30 p.m. on Friday. This past week was yesterday. It opened lobster season to everyone.
The day before
It was the
5th.
6th.
Was it the 5th or the 6th?
It was the 6th.
6th, okay.
I have a story later on called Raiders of the Lost Lobster. And but this woman came in, and that's the title of the show, episode 95, Bitter Woman, not to be confused with a Julia Roberts movie, Pretty Woman, or Little Women if you spoke German, because bitte means little. So this group of 3 people, 2 men and a woman, 50 to 60s, they come into the bar. At the end of all the shit they said, I just went up to the woman. Just so you know. So people say, why am I saying all this stuff? I went to the woman and all the guys, and I go, hey, do you guys know what a podcast is? And the woman goes, what's a podcast? As well as the rest of the guys. And I go, okay, that's great. No, that's so everything.
Oh, you're going to be on it.
They're going to be on it. And you know what? It wasn't a secret. They weren't whispering this shit to me. This woman comes in. They're from Minnesota. They just got finished driving down. They were kind of got that. We've been in a fucking car for 22 hours together.
I can sympathize with that.
They're 50s to 60s. Though she said they were in Key Largo 6 months prior, and I got that limited. Yeah, I remember you guys somewhat feeling about it. One of the guys wasn't there before, so it was only 2 of them. So I'm trying to remember them, and I just didn't get that warm and fuzzies. Yeah. So he started talking. She's talking about how shitty the pizza was down here. I say, you know what? There's plenty of shitty pizza every place you go, and there's some good pizza. In a resort town, you're not going to find too many.
We got a couple good pizzas.
Name some of the places. Oh, wait. I don't want to say. The one place you're going to name, one of the places you named, she said was the worst fucking thing.
Really?
And she says the best pizza, and the best pizza she ever had was in fucking Minnesota, which I'm sure there's good pizza places. I'm sure there's good pizzas in Minnesota, but it's your taste and stuff like that, and there's good pizzas down here, and it's good. I asked her right after that when she's in Minnesota. I go like this. Have you had pizza in more than 10 places in New York City, in Chicago, in L.A., Philadelphia, Boston, Atlanta, St. Louis, Cleveland? And I go, like, if you haven't had sampled and to go and say that's the best place in the world, I think you could say what you really could say, and this isn't why it makes her a horrible person. What you really could say, that's the best I've ever eaten, to me. That's the best and truest thing you can say.
Yeah, because, truly, we got a couple. We have 2 good. We have a Chicago style that's pretty good and a New York style that's pretty good.
No, but what I'm saying is, like,
I know.
Let me make the thing. That's the greatest person in the world. Unless you met every fucking person in the world, and you haven't. I met a lot of people. That's the greatest person I ever met. That's okay.
I met a whole lot more that are shitty than they're great.
Yeah. Okay. I know. But she goes in, okay, so we're starting rolling in with the shitty pizza and this and that and assholes, her asshole neighbors and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, I start hearing this story unroll. My niece lived with me when she was going to college. And I practically put her through college. And when she left, she took my possessions, $1,500 worth. She's a thief and blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, start talking, her niece, so it's to her sister. She goes, oh, my sister... blah, 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 start getting the same thing. And then she says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out an article in the newspaper. I'm going to talk about how she's a whore. And I go, and then I'm going to paper the place with 5,000 flyers. It's a small town of 500. And I go, oh, well, that's where the great fucking place where the pizza is, the small town of 500. I could pretty much tell you when I go, it's going to taste like fucking Chef Boyardee pizza, which is like cardboard with a little ketchup on it and dried Parmesan on the top of it. So she says, I said, well, first of all, I don't think a paper will blatantly place in a real newspaper. Yeah. Now the conch what's it? Some places we want to talk about.
Yeah,
some of them
probably
will
a little local one.
privately owned papers will do libel, and they probably don't worry about it as much. But she said she was going to paper this, and at the mention of whore, my ears perked up, and I go, "What do you mean by whore?" I mean, you heard whenever anybody says whore, and she said it loud enough. So once she said it loud enough for the 5 other patrons at the bar that weren't in her conversation heard it. She gave up her expectation of privacy, and I studied. I mean, I studied privacy rules for a little while just to realize what I could say on there. So
if
once
you're
you
being
start
a drunk asshole in the bar, you have no longer have any.
Yeah, you don't have an expectation of it. So
you have an expectation of seeing your shit up on Facebook the next day.
Yeah, so she started talking about how she was going to paper her town with it and stuff like that. And the guy was giving her one guy had like 35 millimeter around his neck, and he was saying, "Listen, if you start doing that, you're never going to get your stuff back." And I didn't get any detail because I realized at this point it was. Have you ever heard of a book? There's a book called Confederacy of Dunces.
Yeah.
You read it?
Yeah.
Was it brilliant? Do you find it funny?
Sophomore, but funny. It was amusing.
You thought the book was sophomore?
I thought it was written fairly low level, but
I thought it was written on a high level. It's funny. John Kenny O'Toole wrote it, and it was published post. Post. How do you say that word? Posthumously.
Yeah, posthumous.
Posthumously. His mother submitted a manuscript over and over to different groups of people, and finally got published. And some people suggest that it's one of the greatest comedy novels written. One of the greatest. He could have been one of the greatest comedy writers since Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens. But there was a character. The main characters end up in a bar. In the beginning, they start telling a story, and it sounds interesting in the beginning. And then partway through the story, the bartender and everyone in it realizes these people are fucking whack jobs. So she is continuing all this stuff about her sister and that, and then she makes a suggestion to her friend, I'm going to cut her out on my father's will. So I think, how can you get someone cut out of someone's other will unless you're the one? She's making a statement of intention to alter someone's last will and testament. So now, even if she wanted to, she's planted seeds to say, well, I publicly, I'm going to try to get him to alter his will so he can't do it. And if that's ever found, she could actually lose everything. And that's what the guy suggested to her, which these two guys were not brilliant legal minds, but she was so off there, they just go and said, well, that's kind of crazy. And she goes, well, I don't give a shit about my father. He was just, and this is another thing, a sperm donor.
Oh, God.
And when he dies, I'm in charge of the funeral. He's not getting a funeral. He's going to get cremated, and I'm going to dump his ashes down the sewer. So there's 5 people are listening to all this stuff. My sister's a horror stripper. My niece is who I help raise is a thief. And my father, when he dies, is going to be
dumped down the sewer.
Yeah, dumped down the sewer, ashes and all. And several regulars were present listening and stuff like that. And one of them was a supporter of our local president. Okay, our current president. And he...
God bless you, ma'am.
Yeah, no. But she starts going, and then... Finally, they got her to stop. They finally got her. They finally got her to stop talking about this stuff. You know, and someone tried to engage me on this stuff and goes, "Well, look how great the economy is doing and stuff like that." Blah blah blah. And started. So wait a second. We know all about this stuff. What my opinion is. Yep. Okay. So you're not going to get me started on this, and. So she starts talking on the other side about Killary and about her always wearing the same pantsuit and all that stuff. I was saying, you're being a little attentive at it. And then I turned around to the regular that was like really disgusted by the stuff she's saying. I go, hey, buddy, she's one of yours. You know? And I went over to her and I said, you know what? If you need to talk to anybody, there's a guy over there that feels the same exact way. And she starts talking to the guy, and he just looked at me and goes, you motherfucker. I go, you know what? That is what you get
Next time we get to whack ball.
What do you think?
fucking,
Do you think you got guys walking around with T-shirts saying, "I'd rather be Russian than a Democrat"?
Next time we get the whack job liberal coming in and talking about free stuff, I'll send them to you.
Well, I don't trash everyone that has a conservative opinion.
No, like I said, next time I get the whack job liberal talking about how everything should be free, I'll send them over to you and they can talk to
Who
you.
said I said everything should be free? There's
No,
certain
I
things
didn't.
no. Okay.
Much like you didn't say that I say everything should be.
No, you're more of a libertarian.
Yeah.
I understand that. Oh, and speaking of that, I did have a question for you about that. So, and now I'm at this local restaurant, going to this next one, and this is where these three drunk guys come in, and they said they were in the water for an hour, and they got a shit ton of lobster, and they're trying to give it away. You want some lobster? You want some lobster? Give it away. And they progressed to tell me how they got it. They said they grabbed it from a canal, one canal.
Yeah. You can
Which
do that.
is
Yeah, you can do that.
no, you can't.
It's not mini season.
You can't. They said people were bitching at me. You can't grab it from a canal and stuff like that.
Oh,
So people were bitching about it. You got to be careful about grabbing it from canal.
I'm pretty sure that the mini season law in Key Largo is only, or that the canal law in Key Largo is only in mini season. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
I'd have to
Well,
check.
I'm
but I can't tell you how many.
well, they
how many
suggested.
I can't tell you how many people that live on the canal regularly grab lobster.
Well, no, they grab lobster. I'm not saying it's something you profess to do. They profess to do it, and they profess to believe. They believed it was illegal.
Oh,
And the ladies that lived on the canal that were harassing them believed
yeah.
it was
well,
illegal.
then that's an issue.
They believed what they did was illegal.
Oh, yeah,
They
no.
realized after they had it in and it's they weren't caught, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, when we reach down with a net and scoop 2 lobsters up for dinner from under the dock, we know it's illegal.
No, but so they did it, and then I asked them point blank, and I said, well, how many did you get? And the guy said, we have our legal limit. And I go, yeah, if you believe you did something illegal, right, and chanced it, you're going to say you're going to adhere to one rule and then another?
Yeah, I can see that. I can actually see that. Yeah,
Because out of season, you don't have to worry about it. You can say, I got those yesterday.
Yeah.
These are whole and these aren't.
Yeah, we got our 6 lobster apiece. You know, you can't do that on the canal. No, I had no idea.
Yeah, that. But then doing a number, and they said, no, we got a legal limit. And they were very firm and emphatic about that. Yep. But why do you think they have those rules?
Because about 10 years ago, some crazy little old lady started popping her 38 off into a boat that was in a canal.
Should we have those rules?
Yeah. I really only thought they were in place for mini season.
No, but do you think there should be rules?
Oh. As far as bag limits?
No, not bag limits in the canal.
Oh, in the canals? No. Somebody wants to shoot you?
Okay, I wrote that. I guess you're. See?
Yeah.
Don't say I don't know you. There shouldn't be any rules.
No, if somebody asks you not to fucking fish in front of their house, you move.
Okay.
If they shoot you because you didn't move, oh well, you didn't move.
Okay, Bill. And the final thing that I have on script is: did you know that 2 days ago, President Maduro of Venezuela, there was an assassination attempt? Do you know about the deal?
Call a fucking drone a fucking assassination attempt.
What with a pounded C4?
Oh, did it have pound of C4 on it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, you didn't see the pictures, did you?
No.
One of them blew up near an apartment building, and you see the blast thing there. And another one was disabled and detonated far away. And so supposedly there were 2 drones, and there were an octo. It was an
octo rotor,
8 rotor, and it's 1 pound. I went low 1 pound, or it could have been as much as 1 kilogram, which is 2.2. Well, but one pound of C4 is better than a couple sticks of dynamite.
Yeah, but if you just have an open air explosion, no backing plate or any shaped charge,
shrapnel, yeah,
you're kind of just.
I mean, it is. You could kill someone with a blast shock.
Yeah,
if you get close enough, you land it.
That's
what we're trying to do. If you bring it, well,
you'd have to. I mean,
put an M80 off next someone's head.
Yeah,
and put a
flashbang off next to somebody's head.
Yeah, no, but put a pound of C4 next to someo's head. Yeah, I'm just saying it'd be a headless person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but like I said-
six of their the Venezuelan
couple
National
of
Guard
modifications of the blast
Yeah.
plate and a little bit of
No,
shaping. and
6 of the Venezuelan National Guards were injured by it. The Venezuelan military suggested that they were able to interfere with the signal of 1. Get off. I'm going to talk about the eventualities and stuff like that, but the connection where I brought it up here, why would I bring it up? Because they started passing the blame. Okay, first, well, I'll throw in a mix. Americans, right-wing forces in Venezuela, Colombia, Santos, the President Santos of Colombia, and that's the funniest one to tap on.
Because it's
that.
not like everybody down there that had a business that got run out of
Venezuela
town doesn't want to kill them.
No, and Venezuelans in South Florida. He mentioned Venezuelans
There's
in
a
Florida.
reason why all the Venezuelans are in South Florida.
Why?
Because they got their shit taken away.
No, well, let's dig a little deeper. I'm not talking about the reason. Why are they in South Florida and not New York?
Oh, because it's fucking close. And you got a big, vibrant Venezuelan community in Miami.
Or Latin community.
Latin
they speak a lot of Spanish
Well, there's
there.
a lot
in
of
South
Venezuelan,
Florida.
too.
Yeah, well, Latin community meaning there's a lot of Spanish being spoken. So they started buying property there years ago when they started their flight. And that's just like the Cubans with Batista and Castro and stuff like that. But Florida, once again, plays a role.
Socialism does well.
Well, there's a bunch of countries that do really well with socialism. Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, Holland, the Netherlands.
I wouldn't necessarily
They don't do well?
call Holland as socialist as you think.
More so than when you have free college, free health care, and when you're paying insurance. When you you got to pay. But they come in, hey, these people come in our place, and why would you compare us? Now, down here, it would make sense. If you compare our socialism to their socialism, why not up north don't you compare our socialism with the good one up in Norway and Sweden and all that stuff, where everyone gets a college education, the place is beautiful, the roads are fixed.
60% tax.
Yep, and they're not. Hey, they go on vacations.
Yeah, that's fine. They can do that. That's
You know what?
that's perfect for them.
You know what,
If you
Bill?
want to charge me 60% of my income, I tell you to go fuck yourself.
Well, what's the difference if you're paying in student loans and your health care and your
Because
thing
you have
is
taken
60%?
my freedom of choice of what I want to support.
60%.
You have taken
And you
my
got quality health care and quality
you
education.
have taken my freedom of choice of what I wish to support.
You're not going to support
No.
top flight education, top flight
Fuck
medical
no.
care, top flight education for your
I'm
population.
supporting my ass.
But you don't think that. Do you support our military?
Well, fuck yes.
Why do you support our military?
Because I was in it.
Nope. Well, let's say you weren't in it. Let's say you weren't in it. Would you still support our military?
Probably not.
What? That's no reason. See, military is a joint protection. You join in to protect. It's a national thing. Why do we have a military? Support our national interest.
We used to have it to keep fucking kids out of trouble.
No, that's not why we have a military. That's not why we have national defense.
But that was one of the reasons why the Army was always a
It's
popular
defense.
option.
First, it's defensive in nature. Some people make ventures to support American interests around the globe, right? And we all pay an inordinate amount of money for things we don't see or know that's going on.
How much?
How
As
much of the budget?
percentage.
Of the budget?
Yeah.
Let's say this year is $700 billion.
Yeah, how much is that as a percentage of the budget? Come
More
on,
than 25%. You think we pay yeah.
Seven.
What?
$7
$7 trillion is our
7% of the budget.
I dispute that. What is the military spend? And including everything, veterans affairs and all that.
It's like it's up, I think around 7.5%.
7.5%. Don't Social Security because we take payment out of people's checks for that and
I'm not going
Medicare.
with Social Security. I'm just going with military.
Oh, yeah.
Military costs.
We are Googling this. What I'm saying is, there's a picture of that bartender from McGeehan's Pub that my buddy sent me. Barmaid. Let's see. Military. Do we have anybody sending us?
No, nobody's chatting.
No one's chatting right now? Okay, military percentage of U.S. budget. Okay.
How much of the U.S.
Okay, here.
is spent on the military?
Military spending in the United States in fiscal year. God damn it, you disappeared.
Okay, by contrast, Washington's enormous military expenditure
54% of all discretionary spending. 54%. Where are you getting your information
that's
from?
GDP. Sorry, gross
GDP.
domestic product.
I know.
Percentage of gross
I'm talking about our budget.
product.
See, this is
We're
where we
talking
got
about different shit.
Okay, no, wait a second. Wait a second.
Because the numbers
It's
are different.
it's still part of the discretionary budget and stuff like that. You GDP, that's huge, because
Yeah, Washington's enormous military expenditure amounts to 3.5 of GDP.
I didn't say that.
That's what I was saying.
I didn't say
And I
no.
thought
Well,
it was
you didn't
7,
say
so
that, but I mean, I'm just saying. The point you asked me how much of the budget was.
Oh.
You said budget.
How much of our?
Well, it's more than 25%.
It is more.
I understated mine. You
as
overstated.
of budget, yes. As of GDP,
I know, but a budget, I'm just saying that. So any taxes, and you don't have a complaint against general welfare. Now, if you're saying it's contribute to our strength as a country, why wouldn't you think a healthy and educated, why would you spend 54% to protect the country if you wouldn't make it strong through education and health?
because I also went to college and I realized how many idiots got fucking degrees that don't know shit and still don't know shit.
It's still, what if you raised the double the amount? Like, we don't have to bring in everyone from India and China, where they have, when you pass the test, they send you to school, where schooling is more of a merit. You merit it. It's a meritocracy.
If we did a meritocracy, that'd be fine. But what we got is
That's what meritocracy is.
we have people,
When you do have it, you have to
people that should be
you have
going
to pass a
fucking
test.
we have people that
Wait,
should be going
wait
to
a
fucking
second,
trade schools.
Bill. There's wealthy people that send their kids
Yeah.
to Harvard, Yale, and Princeton because they can afford it,
and they're
dumb
come
as
out as
shit.
idiots.
Dumb as shit.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. What if we have a kid whose father's a janitor, who's the guy that's going to invent the next fucking leap forward in space travel or propulsion or energy, and he's sitting back because it's 30,000.
If he's a smart kid, he'll get a scholarship. He'll make it fucking work.
What if he's smart in science and he's not smart in finances? If you're someone smart in finances, yeah, they can get it, but they're not. They're fucking learning how to drain it. This is the one thing I always had a problem with, the people talking about socialism, because we have socialism for the military all the time. 54% of the
Exactly,
discretionary
'cause
budget.
If you get up
That's,
there and you,
if that's socialism,
if he wants to go to school so bad, join the fucking
but
fucking Navy.
discretionary budget, and they're cutting back on the Veterans Affairs budget, right?
God. No, Veterans Affairs is just fucked up from top to bottom. They have,
No, but they're even cutting back further. They're removing dental care from that mix
I
now.
know.
Okay,
Trust
so
me,
this
I've been around
bullshit,
and around with
that
those
bullshit,
motherfuckers more than I want to
that
talk
level,
about.
that level of bullshit and hypocrisy.
And that is just basic military chicken shit that happens from top to bottom.
Budgeting is not by the military.
No,
budgeting,
I'm talking
budgeting
about,
from
I'm talking
from
about
Congress.
the shit that goes on with VA. That's just chicken shit. That's the same
Well,
chicken shit that
if we
happens all
if we
down
have the
fucking
balls
line.
to send other people's children into combat, we better have the balls to pay for it and take care of them. Make sure they get education. Make sure that you have a job when
And
you
I
come
agree with
back and all that
But
stuff.
You got the little fucking empire builders that get their general, we got our budget and we got to improve and we got to do this and we got to make more money and it gets all fucked up. And it
I know.
always has.
Well, that's why they spread out the parts and the thing. But okay, there's our little part in budgeting and stuff like that. I did mention it came all from the bitter woman. This whole conversation came about from the bitter woman. But we're able, a much different from the bitter woman. Bill and I are able to walk away.
We can have this conversation
and
we can
walk
still be
away
able to
from
talk
it.
to each
She's
other.
doing it. She's had 20 years of thinking that her she's going to cremate her father, dump him in the sewer, paper her town with flyers that calling her sister a whore, prostitute, and a whore. Well, I had a problem with that comment too. Wait, I mean, a whore and a prostitute, semantics. A prostitute is someone that has a business plan.
Right. Actually,
money for services.
What's the
A whore can either, it could be two different things, right?
what's the old line about the whore is basically fucking everybody but you?
I thought it was like you could be a whore, and I believe there's male and female whores and prostitutes and all that stuff just as much. But a whore gives it away at no charge sometimes. And a prostitute still can give it away, much like a promotional.
Yeah, it's a one-time promotional offer.
A promotional offer.
I'll give I'll give you a hand job in the car. Next time,
the first one's free.
Whoa.
Oh, that was incredible. that was good. Oh, here's a coupon for you, sir. The next 3 Hummers are you. I notice you're not having a beer right now.
No, I got a little head cold going on. I'm just getting over it.
You're just getting over it? I'm hoping that's all right. Did I mention already that August 22nd is our 100th episode?
I think we mentioned that a couple times last week.
I don't know if you noticed that tomorrow I'm just letting the listeners, if you have any commentary, we'll accept it. We're Luke, several months ago, mentioned that I'm a dictator of the fucking minutia. He didn't say it that way, but he says I pick on the littlest things, and I do. I was watching a movie, The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, and after I saw
Lee Jones in that,
yeah. But I was watching a movie and I was picking on this thing, and I'm just, holy shit! At the end of it, Luke was right. Luke was fucking right. It was amazing. It was I just said, and tomorrow we're going to go over some of the things that I had a problem with, and if anybody else had a problem with, and it's still a great fucking movie. That's why. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to watch a horror movie or science fiction or anything like that. I remember Abby, my wife, said to me, "I don't like science fiction." I said, "You like Game of Thrones? You love horror movies and stuff like that. Why that can't happen? What's the difference in science fiction? It's a suspension of belief.
Yeah. And if you got
Fantasy.
a good story, it doesn't matter if it's whatever.
Yeah. No, it's a great. There was a movie called Pan's Labyrinth. It's Spanish. It takes place during the tail end. It's way tail end after the Spanish. Franco's in power at the tail end of the Spanish Civil War. I think the Allies are just about entering Europe, and they're still mopping up in Spain in the Pyrenees area. The Spanish rebels, there's just the last forces, because during World War II, Spain was technically an ally of Hitler and Mussolini, but they didn't participate. Right. They were just they're non-belligerents, not much.
Not neutral, but non-belligerent.
Yeah. You could, if you escaped to Spain, if you were in France, you could somewhat get away to Portugal and stuff like that. But in this movie, a little girl, 10-year-old girl, her stepfather, mother, widowed mother, marries a captain or a major in the Franco regime, and the guy's bloodthirsty. Great fucking movie if you ever get to see it. But at the same time, they're fighting partisans. The little girl's having her. You don't know if it's fantasy or not, but she's entering another world with where there's monsters and there's fairies and it's just amazing, and it goes on back and forth. It goes in between the real world and this world, and you don't know which one's which in the end that they're positing. But when I saw this movie the first time, it was Thanksgiving of 2007. It was 3 months after I got sober. I'm at one of my sponsor's house. He was on vacation. I was watching his dog. I worked that night at the Encore and had a cold turkey. Not cold. I had a cold turkey dinner, which I heated up in their microwave. I'm sitting watching this movie, and in the movie, this is ironic, or think of a thing. In the movie, this is real. Soldiers are listening to radio, and they have a lottery thing where you win money and stuff like that. And I'm sitting at the time eating the turkey dinner and going, what am I doing here? I'm watching my sponsor's dog in his house, and I don't have anybody down here. I'm by myself. I was dating someone for a couple months. I said, maybe what should I do? What should I do? And all of a sudden, I see them watching it, and I'm looking at a corner of my eye, the part of the movie, and I'm watching it. and it goes. They're reading off the numbers: 3, 3, 0, 3, 7. It's in the movie.
Yep, there you go.
That is Key Largo's zip code.
Yeah, somebody put a little gem in there.
You know what? If it was, no, I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe in fate, or I mean, it could be. There could be. I don't believe in it as an essential, but that little bit, I go, wow, that was fucking amazing. I tried to tell people, and they didn't find it as equal and amazing. But I mean, it's a Spanish language movie.
So?
It's made in Spain, and obviously,
You got Spanish guys been down here before?
no, but it wasn't big on television. It was an art house film. But it was the only. But I think it's the one of the only movies at the first time is first to win a foreign language movie to win the Best Picture award, not as a foreign language.
Oh, as an actual movie.
As an actual movie, it was that good. It was that guy that Guillermo del Toro.
Okay.
It was a movie. It's a beautiful movie, and I believe you would like it because you'd like the. Just it was nuanced. The whole movie was nuanced and stuff like that. It was brilliant. What time are we looking at right
We
now?
got about 10 minutes. Didn't he
10 minutes?
Didn't he do the vampire movie down in Mexico?
You're thinking of the Quentin Tarantino one?
Is that Quentin Tarantino? Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn. That was Quentin Tarantino was in it.
That-
But maybe Guillermo del Toro assisted in that, but he also did he did that last movie he got the Academy Award for too, that got one for what was it this year one Best Picture? The Shape of Water. That's Guillermo del Toro. The Shape of Water.
Nope,
Where
that was Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Okay.
Who wrote it?
Well, he could have been like the
Quentin
director
Tarantino
of
wrote the
photography.
screenplay.
No, Guillermo del Toro, that's an old movie, so he may have been like a
Produced by...
Del
Nope.
Toro's not that old.
Nope, that's Robert... That was Bob Rodriguez. I'm just getting my Spanish names confused.
Okay. Well, Guillermo is William, isn't it?
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah. Guillermo L. Wissinger. There you go. But that's the reason why I was here, and I don't even know why the hell I mentioned that movie. It was
I don't know either.
fuck. No, there was a point because you weren't listening. Because you had your fucking head covered.
33037. The zip code was in there.
Well, that came up because I was doing it, but I brought the movie. It was about Franco, this, that, movies. I know it's just shaking his head. He has no fucking idea why.
There's a point. There's a point somewhere. I'm just.
There's a
waiting for
point.
it
I
to come
just
around.
don't have it. So, Bill, you're coming over head cold. What do you do about this? What's your go-to down here? And it's fucking humid.
This time of year, there's fucking nothing. You just fucking deal with it.
Nothing to deal with it.
No, you just fucking deal with it. There's nothing you can really fucking do.
No.
It's not one of those debilitating ones. I don't feel, like complete shit. I can get out. I can work. I just all stuffed up.
Okay. Well, what?
It's like my normal allergies when something new blooms, except they didn't go away in a day.
Okay. Well, listen. Since I think we probably have around 6 minutes left. It looks like.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I want to start talking to some of our listeners out there. We got Philadelphia. We got our friends who may be listening in McGeehan's Bar.
There you go. And
what's it called? McGeehan's. It's called it's not Rock Bottom. McGeehan's Rock Bottom.
There you
I
go.
knew it as McGeehan's, but they call it Rock Bottom. It's just
we should also mention that we do have a chat feature available. You can always get on here and chat with us now that we actually know it's there and I pay attention to it.
Well, we know. I'm going to figure out how to use Skype. We're going to have to do a simulcast with them and just have them on there and set up. I can send them a mic or have them do it on their.
Problem with Skype is not Skype. It's the connection between Spreaker and Skype.
It's tenuous.
Really iffy. I tried 2 or 3 different things they recommended, and none of them worked.
Really?
Yeah.
How if we do a recording?
I can do a phone recording on my phone.
Me too. Well, I did it during Irma.
Yep.
During Irma, we were in the middle of the hurricane down and then I'm up in Lakeland where we're getting the outskirts of it. I'm on the porch when the bands start coming in, and they're in the heart of it down here.
Or if you want to do a pre-recorded bit, I can always pump that in too. If you want to talk to somebody on the phone, record it, I can always pump that in. Right now, live, I can just set up an MP3 and.
I like the idea of people being exposed to you and Bill, and I don't mean in the perverted way where you're in your trench coats and you're just showing your fucking dicks to them.
There's a funny story about that.
What? Okay, let's hear it.
Somebody who my wife's daughter has recently moved back into town, very close, like right across the street from us, and she very quickly learned that
I don't know the direction. I don't like the direction of this.
That it's not a good idea to walk in the house in the middle of the afternoon when there is a hairy, naked man asleep in his easy chair.
Is that what you do?
Well, yes.
What kind of chair is it? A fabric or is it
fabric?
Oh, you got it. Do you have a sheet on it?
Hmm?
Do you have a sheet on it? You just letting your balls touch your...
Yes. It's not like my balls don't touch my legs all the time.
I know, but then you got hair. I mean, I could tell by you're not a manscaper.
I'm not a manscaper.
You're not a manscaper. So there's probably a lot of excess hair. Is it a fuzzy chair now?
It's not that fuzzy.
Okay, somewhat fuzzy.
It's somewhat fuzzy.
Okay. So
but yeah, she has learned not to walk in.
So wait, you're in the easy chair, so you got the feet propped up.
Oh yeah.
Wait, in situation to the door,
smart.
when you walk into the door, where is the footrest facing?
Oh, it's perpendicular.
Oh, good. There's something going on. You're just seeing a little side dick.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was head on,
oh yeah,
you're seeing balls and butt cheek and everything going in there.
Yeah, no, she just walks right in, blah, 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 like, oh,
and then what was her reaction?
Turn around, close the door.
Oh, okay, that was it. Okay, so it's talking.
I said, hang on a second.
So
put on a pair of shorts. Went out.
Yeah,
how you doing?
I'd like these guys to interact with you. Maybe you could do it. Maybe I'll set it up as a dinner over at my house, and have you over and treat you to some of my North cooking. I won't try to do what you do well.
If you boil
I'll do what I do
ribs.
well. I don't boil. Oh fuck, man.
We were talking.
You know what?
This was about 2 months ago. We were talking
I had
about
people.
something.
They're not dry. They're tender, and they're tender, and they suck up the barbecue sauce.
I'm sure they do, and I'm sure they're not near as bad as I think they are. But when you say boiled and rib in the same sentence, every redneck who barbecues looks at you and goes,
Hey, did you ever see fried greens tomatoes?
yes.
What'd the fucking guy do?
Did he boil ribs?
He boiled the ribs.
Oh, damn.
Okay, God damn it. There is a school of thought in the South that ribs can be boiled, and I will get somebody on there. It's just a different thing. There's smoking ribs, and the one I'm talking about. Mine come out succulent, tender, and they fall off the bone, and they suck it in and stuff like that. And you got to season the thing. Now, that being said, there are other ways to do it. That's what's so great about ribs. Ribs are one of the best items to do it. Like I wouldn't do that to a steak. You don't take a ribeye and dry it out, do a dehydration on a prime rib or something like that. No, it's juicy and stuff. The best thing. Ribs taste so good in so many fucking different ways. Chinese ribs, those little baby Chinese ribs, they're fucking great. Your ribs, the dry ones with the rub on it, something like that, you could take on a hiking trip and it won't. They won't rot on you.
They'll rot on you,
but not as quickly.
Yeah, not as quickly.
You could take them on a trip.
You probably leave them out for a day or two.
Yeah, that's. I mean, when it comes to ribs, there are a lot of people don't have a thing for pork, but pork can be a lot of different things could be done with pork.
Dude, I keep a bag of pickled pork in the.
There you go,
in the
pig's
freezer.
feet and all that shit, man.
No, an actual pickled pork. You take the pork and you pickle it and you use it.
No, I'm just saying it goes. Obviously, pickling goes well with.
You can pickle pig's feet too. That's pretty good.
But that pork is one of the miracles of that. You can make a great stew.
We always used to say that we always get pigs on the farm, man. We use everything but the squeal.
You know what? I think it's when you see people turn to cannibal. It's always people that like pork.
Long pig.
Everyone that likes pork and stuff like that. And there's a part of the. What was it? This is the end? The end of
I don't know.
Oh, Danny McBride. This is a great end of the movie where he goes cannibal so quick at the end of it. It's less than 24 hours after he left his group. He just starts leading in a post-apocalyptic gang where they're eating people.
Well, what was that Don Johnson movie? The post-apocalyptic one. A Boy and
Boy
His
and His Dog. I mentioned that to you.
Yeah, they eat the girl at the end.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. That's a fucked up movie. That
That's fine.
Boy and His Dog. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but it's still, it could be funny and fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, the idea that he wasn't, when he found a woman that was attacked and beaten to within an inch of her life, it wasn't because she was beaten and almost killed and raped. It was because, why would you waste all that good?
Waited all that meat.
Yeah, no, not to meat, because he likes having sex. He just screwed around. He was a rapey guy, you know, in that thing. But he wouldn't kill anybody. He had his. But that's the fucked up movie. Well, you know what? I imagine we reached the end of it. Tomorrow we're going to be at episode 96 at the Catch. We are currently at the Blackwater Siren. This is Jim, the Keys bartender. Thank you for listening today. I'm going to leave the rest off to Bill.
There you go. Thank you all so much for listening. We do appreciate you all hanging out with us. We will be back tomorrow, and we're going to make plans for something special on the 100th episode. It'll be a good time. Hope you all can join us for that. Thank you very much.
At Domino's, we're more than pizza, so mix it up with our specialty chicken, stuffed cheesy bread, sandwiches, pastas, medium two-topping pizzas, and more for just $5.99 each, and we'll mix stand-up comedy with a robot.
Stuffed cheesy bread and my act have a lot in common. They're both super cheesy. Tough crowd.
You can also mix it up with Domino's salads, marbled cookie brownie, bread twist, and medium two-topping pizzas. Order any two or more for just $5.99 each. 2-item minimum. Bone-in wings, handmade pan pizza, and bread bowl pasta will be extra. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
Phone $15 a month after $22.50 a month. Credit apply within 2 bills. If canceled earlier, remain balance due. Unlimited basic after $630.20. Pay $32 per month per line for 5 lines with auto pay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Speed maximums. Use rules and restrictions apply.